You're tuned in to the Mind of an Entrepreneur show with your host, myself, Sajdah Wendy Muhammad. I am a multi-million-dollar business developer. I have developed business and real estate around the world, and I want to share with you my mental strategies, my technical strategies, and how I made it in the world of business. So I don't teach theory. I tell you about my life and introduce you to people who can also share with you what they've done to become successful. This is a practical show. This ain't a theory show. You don't want to miss it. So stay tuned.
O Allah, guide me among those whom Thou hast guided aright, and preserve me among those whom Thou hast preserved, and befriend me among those whom Thou hast befriended. Bless me in whatsoever Thou dost grant me, and deliver me from the evil of what Thou hast judged. Surely Thou judgest, and none can judge against Thee, and he whom Thou befriendest is not disgraced. Blessed art Thou, O Lord, and exalted be Thee above what they set up besides Thee. I bear witness, nothing deserves to be served besides Thee, and I bear witness that Muhammad is Thy servant and apostle. Amen.
Assalamu alaikum, family. This is Sister Sajdah. Take a look at this room on the third floor of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad House before we started the renovations. And look at it now. And we just have a little bit of progress left to make. The finish line is in sight. So order your commemorative Elijah coins today and become a sponsor. The link is in the bio. Peace and blessings, family.
I need you.
Greetings, conscious entrepreneurs. Add the Mind of an Entrepreneur show to your Roku TV lineup and catch up on past episodes of all your favorite Mo Today shows. Greetings, conscious entrepreneurs. You now can take the Mind of an Entrepreneur show wherever you go. I'm now available on Spotify. Just search Sajdah Wendy Muhammad.
You belong to yourself. You're an independent people, created from the nation of free people. Yes, sir. You don't need to go nowhere but to yourself. Yes, sir. There will be a great separation. Yes, sir. So I said, it is on now.
The college is meant to prepare you for your future. That the time dictates that if we don't do something for ourselves as a people, we will be destroyed. And the aim of the enemy right now is to take us out.
We have God with us. We have Him as our guide. Yes, sir. We don't have to stand around here and ask the question, what must be done? Yes, sir. Get up and let's go and do something. Yes, sir. We cannot sit down. We cannot lay down. Yes, sir. We must get up. Yes, sir. And go to work.
Do you know what real joy is in life? Visioning something and bringing it into reality. That's real joy. Do you know what the next step in joy is? Behold how good and how pleasant it is for brethren to dwell in unity.
Tonight, you need to fasten your seatbelts. We're going to hear from some of the greatest minds in the world. I don't know about you, but I'm tired of trusting our future and the future of our children into the hands of those who don't love us. I believe we need to revitalize black leadership.
Assalamu alaikum. Happy Thursday, everyone. Welcome to the Mind of an Entrepreneur show. I'm your host, Sajdah Wendy Muhammad, and I am so excited tonight to introduce you to yet another industry disruptor, an emerging market leader. And we're going to talk to you about why we are saying that this brother and many others that have been on this show are emerging market leaders. And so I'm excited to have Brother Lance Muhammad on from Supreme Sweets Dessert Shop. I can't wait for him to tell you all about his business, his journey, and one important thing that he and I want to talk to you about as that's the key to your success. So welcome to everyone. I see you all in the chat. Come on in. Welcome our brother to the fold. And as you all know, I've been doing this for a while now. And I'm just excited to be in a position to be able to share what I've learned and paid for with my blood, sweat, and tears, and to just share it with you in the form of coaching, in the form of gifts, in the forms of this show, just sharing principles. So thank you and welcome. Don't forget to add us to your Roku TV lineup. So you just go to Roku, search for the Mind of an Entrepreneur show, and it'll come up and you can binge on past episodes. I got some really cool things that I'm going to be participating in. So stay close. If you read the ticker that is going across the bottom, you'll see information about how to join the mailing list, how to get your commemorative Elijah coin, of course. And so without further ado, I'm going to bring in my brother, Lance Muhammad. Assalamu alaikum, sir.
Walaikum salam, sister. How you doing?
I'm wonderful. Welcome.
Praise be to Allah. I'm humbled to be here. And inshallah, I'll share something that somebody could benefit from tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. I believe, with Allah's will, you will. So tell us, Brother Lance, tell us about your business, where it's located, and let's just talk about that and how you got started. That's going to get us into our powerful conversation.
Okay. The Supreme Sweets Dessert Shop is located in Willingboro, New Jersey. So for those of us on the East Coast, it's about 20, 30 minutes outside of Philadelphia.
Mm-hmm.
Willingboro, New Jersey is a small community, maybe 50,000, but it's primarily African-American community. And that's where the dessert shop is set up.
Mm-hmm. And how'd you get started?
All right, so I'm gonna give you some details here.
Wait, let me set this up. Before you start, let me set it up. Okay. Because you and I were talking before the show about how this is completely different from your training, your education, and anything you did. And then I responded by saying, I think that that's the key oftentimes to when Allah is coming through you. Because even, for example, for me, I've always been a business person, have a degree in finance and accounting. And so doing radio and coaching was not something that I planned on doing, but Allah motivated me. And I was doing this show, Brother Lance, when nobody was listening, low viewership. But when I tell you the amount of opportunities that I got just from responding to Allah's call to do this, I didn't look at the followers, the listeners, the people who was paying attention. I just followed those instructions. And probably from this show, I can safely say that I've made thousands of dollars, not from the actual broadcast, but from the people that I've met and those who have seen me. So that's my setup before you tell us your story of how you got started.
Praise be to Allah. And I'm going to add on to that by saying, and I'm paraphrasing, but the minister teaches us that Allah is beneficent, merciful, and that there's many things set up for our benefit in the universe if we would only stand up. So we can't access those things until we stand up and make some movement. And then we see that there's things already set up for our benefit. So
yes,
I second what you just said. And By trade, just so that the audience knows, I'm an educator. I'm a school principal.
Okay.
That's what I do as a profession.
Mm-hmm.
So it has nothing to do with desserts or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
The dessert shop simply came from me being greedy. I like desserts, and
What's that mean? You like desserts? Like, because
I
I
like
have
desserts.
a friend on here who I've known for years, and she is the dessert queen. She
Okay,
gives out desserts for gifts. Is that what you mean? Like you that
no
kind of
man,
dessert
I'm,
person? No.
I'm the dessert king, meaning I like to eat dessert.
Oh, you like to eat them?
I
Okay,
like to eat.
got
So I like to eat desserts, and what I've realized over a period of time is that in our communities, we don't have a great selection of of products in our community. Usually, you have to go to another community if you want to, go to a yogurt bar or get some type of
it. Okay,
desserts. And that began to, really weigh on me just because, I would be sitting around and I wanted dessert. And, if we want a dessert in our communities, you would have to go
give me
to
some detail. What kind of dessert did you want? You want a piece of cake, or you wanted something? What did
I
you
want
want?
some cheesecake.
Okay,
I want some banana pudding.
okay,
And we don't have those type of things set up in our community. For the most part, there's just fast food restaurants, and you get what you get from there. So I saw that there was a void in our community for those type of things, and I saw when I would go to other communities, they had a variety of options for them. So I said, man, we really need something set up in our community, and it was that simple. Um, Sister LaFonda, my wife, she could bear witness. And one day I just said, I'm gonna set up a dessert shop. Now, mind you,
just like that.
I don't bake. I don't barely boil water. But I said we need a dessert shop.
You don't even make. You don't.
No man,
Because I'm thinking you might be like an amateur baker.
no man. But what I am good at is delegating.
Okay,
And so
okay.
I'm a good manager.
Generally do.
I'm a good manager. So I said, you know what? I want to bring a dessert shop to Willingboro, and I wanted to bring it into the community that I grew up in.
Okay.
I didn't want to take it somewhere else. I wanted to put it in my community. So I began to look for properties in the community to set up a dessert shop. Mind you, I had no no dessert training, and I had no idea really which direction to go in. But I knew I wanted to do something.
Okay.
And so it's interesting how it happened. What happened is I was telling a friend of mine, a childhood friend of mine, about what I was going to do, and he just happened to tell me that him and his family make vegan desserts. Now this is and so I said, oh wow, I didn't even know that this is somebody I knew my whole life. I didn't even know he made vegan desserts, him and his family, and so I said, well, would you like to go in with me? And my brother said, yes. So my brother, Sharu who's a member of the 5% Nation of God's Nerve. Me and my brother grew up together, and he talked with his family. The next day, he came back and he said he wanted to partner up with me to go into this dessert business. So my next move was to call a brother who I knew had a previous restaurant, just for some, just sharing some information of how I go about it. So brother Corey X, another brother I grew up with in the community. Actually, us three grew up together. Okay. So I called him and I said, I'm thinking about setting up this dessert business. Can you give me some pointers? And my brother gave me some pointers, and we talked for about an hour and we got off the phone. But the next day, this is what's interesting. He called me back and he said, brother, I was thinking, I'm looking to set up a vegan soup shop and sandwich shop.
Wow, here we go.
He said, would you consider us going in together? So now, as soon as he said that, I had already been looking at properties, and what popped in my head, there was a property in the same plaza that the Willenboro Mosque is in.
Okay.
And the property had a business that was for sale, a property for sale that had two public entrances. So the fact that it had two public entrances, I was it clicked in my head that we could have two separate restaurants in one property with a shared kitchen. Instantly, just from my brother asking me that question, I said, brother, I got an idea. So the next day.
So stop for a minute, Brother Lance, because this may have missed some people, that may have gone over their head. How genius that is, that you've got two entrances, right? You got the dessert shop and you got the vegan food shop, but it's a shared kitchen.
Mm-hmm. Well, let me say this: the property was used as like a postal center and mail-in center. So the property didn't have any kitchen. It had two public entrances on different sides of the plaza.
So you came up with the idea of the shared kitchen and literally converted like a mini postal space.
Right.
Got it. Got it.
So instantly, we all looked at the property, and we envisioned having a shared kitchen with the vegan soup shop on one side, as far as the entrance, and the desserts shop on the other side. And we went after the property. We pulled our resources, as the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches.
Beautiful.
And we went after that property. And most people doing what we do, they don't own the property, they lease.
Mm-hmm.
But we were determined to own it. And when we went after it, a lot of eyes, because people weren't used to Black men coming together and wanting to own something.
Mm-hmm.
And we went after the property, and we were able to purchase the property. We gutted the property, and we put a brand new kitchen in there, a shared kitchen. We put a walkway that connects both sides.
Okay.
So that we could share customers.
Okay.
And we Supreme Sweets was born.
Brother,
and on the other side of us, Chakra Soups was born.
That is brilliant, brother.
Praise be to Allah.
Absolutely brilliant. So you got a whole real estate play in there. I'm a big proponent of any business I build, I put a real estate play in it. So you're determined to own the property, but just the way you constructed that with the shared kitchen and the walkway that goes in between. And now, like you said, you sharing customers.
Absolutely. And what I did leave out is that when the three of us got together, we formed the LLC, and we called it the Supreme Clientele Team. For my hip hop fans, that's an old rap album by Ghostface Killer, but we called it the Supreme Clientele Team, and we bought the property under that. And then under the Supreme Clientele Team, we own the building together, but both businesses are separate. So Brother Corey X, he owns Chakra Soups, and me and Shahrul own the Supreme Dessert Shop. So it's two separate businesses, but we share the expenses. So we cut our overhead in half.
Mm-hmm. That's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. That is perfect. Somebody put in here, and I think it was Sister Aletha, she said, pulling ideas and resources.
Absolutely.
And that's why I see you all being successful. What I also see, though, is you listening to that calling. It's like me going back and I was explaining that from the outside looking in, people would say, what are you doing? You've been on radio, and I've been doing it since 2009. But the way Allah blessed me with moving me and putting me in positions to be able to build as a result of just following, that calling. And I'm listening to you, you just got the inspiration, and you thought it was because you wanted to go and look for some desserts. But I'm sure Allah had another meaning, because then here you've demonstrated this whole idea of cooperative economics and pooling your resources and doing for self, just from, your desire to look for a dessert, but Allah knows how to put something in our head. He knew how to make that desire strong enough so that you would,
Move
off
out.
of that little desire,
Move
go and
out.
do all this.
Absolutely. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, do for self or suffer the consequences. And a lot of times we look at that, as a financial consequence or a consequence where we may not eat in a certain time period, but there's also a spiritual consequence, because going after your dream and doing something for self is liberating for your soul. And when we have these ideas or these dreams, these visions, and we don't do something to bring them into fruition, there's a consequence to that.
Okay.
So, one thing that we hope to do is we hope to inspire those that have an idea and just haven't moved out on it, because we didn't have a blueprint on how to do this. We faced a lot of obstacles and challenges. So I don't want to make it sound simple, because between the purchase of the building and the opening of the shops were a lot of pitfalls and challenges. But one thing that pooling your resources and working collectively does is that we had each other to
Yes.
support each other. So when one was down, the other was up. And we would always make sure that this thing didn't stop.
How much time elapsed between the purchase of the building and then the opening of both shops?
That's a great question, because we purchased the building in late July of 2021.
Okay.
And the plan was to open maybe October. So we set up for that. We planned a lot of plans, and allows the best of planners. So many things came up unforeseen, and what we thought would take 3, 4, 5 months, we didn't open our doors until maybe 11 months in.
Okay.
So we ran into a lot of issues with permits, a lot of construction issues.
I was just going to say, I bet the construction permit issue was your number one thing with the shared kitchen and
we used a lot of we used a lot of people that didn't work out. So we at different points we had to pivot, and we were stagnant, but we didn't stop. We kept pushing. We have a lesson that talks about that we were taking 9,000 miles from our home, and we're talking about what is known as Africa. And some of our people tried to jump off the ships and swim back, but they realized it was too far. And sometimes you get out here and you realize it's too far to go back.
Yeah.
But you still don't see the finish line either. So you're kind of stuck in the middle, and you have nothing to do but rely on your faith and keep pushing forward.
I always explain to people that every project and every business has a rhythm and it has a flow. And a lot of us, like you said, we bail and jump ship as soon as we face some kind of difficulty or challenge. And we just don't oftentimes have the wherewithal to go into ourselves and say, how do I do this? And, you mentioned looking forward and looking backwards and saying there's nowhere else to go, so I'm choosing to go this direction. I've been there many times where I've even said, well, I'm further along than I am back there, and I love Allah too much to give up, so let me just keep going. So that's a great example for people who are struggling with perseverance and consistency.
Right. And we know, anything worthwhile, there's going to be a difficulty factor attached to it. And we like to say we hit every difficulty there was to hit. But being rooted in the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, as taught by the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, the more difficult it got, the more we knew that we was on the right path.
Yeah.
And we knew that there was a reward waiting for us. So,
right.
The more obstacles came, the more we laughed, because it was things happening that we just weren't typical things.
That's right.
But it didn't frustrate our determination to bring that into fruition.
It's funny you mentioned that because when we were building the clinics and surgery center and micro hospitals in Maryland, my business partner and I would just laugh. So he would come out of surgery and come up to my office, and I would just look at him and be laughing. He'd be like, "What happened?" Because it just got to the point
Right,
where it was always something.
right.
And so we just started laughing at it. And what I've learned is that sometimes when you sort of disrespect those kind of things, you get over it. You feel okay with it. What'd
Right.
you learn about yourself through this process?
I learned that I had more patience than I believed I had, and I learned that you know, they have a term they say fake it till you make it. That a lot of times we hold ourselves back because we think that we're not qualified to do certain things, and we look at others as giants, and we look at ourselves as midgets. And the reality that what separates those many times what separates those that have and those that don't is just they took a chance and they didn't give up. And you realize once you step out there that those that you look at as established or successful, they're not working with much more than what you have.
Right.
They just took a chance and they persevered. So um, the biggest obstacle is the your own thoughts that sometimes hold us back, and fear. The messenger talked about fear.
Hmm.
So when you overcome that, you're halfway there.
Yeah, because you can't demonstrate courage and bravery unless you have that emotion of fear. So when it comes up, when you find yourself navigating through your safe zone or beyond your safe zone, now you're courageous, now you're brave. And then I like to say you're beyond your intellectual capacity because it's not like there's anything you can do in many
Right.
cases. And you're really totally just operating from that space of revelation.
Hmm.
So it's all revelation at that point
Absolutely.
because you're out over your skis.
And the fear is going to come. The fear of the unknown, um, the fear of not knowing what you're doing. But how do you handle that fear?
Yeah.
And that's what we have to do as believers and as those that um, want to achieve anything worth achieving. You're going to have to push through that and handle that in a certain manner. So again, I was blessed that you know my two brothers, the three of us together, we grew up as childhood friends, um, and all of us, as a foundation, had the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and you know, we stood on that,
Yes.
and we persevered.
Yes. Now, you said something earlier that just stuck out to me. You said that what you learned through the process was that you have more patience than you thought you had. Now, based on what you do for a living, I would think that you'd already be a pretty patient person. Tell the audience what you do for a living and what's your day job or your old day
So
job or however that worked.
I'm still doing it. So by trade, I'm a school principal, but I'm not just a school principal. I work with behavioral students. So I work with the students that nobody else wants to work with.
So that means you already got the patience of Job.
I got patience, but part of being a principal is that a lot of things are in my control. Um,
I see.
and
I
when
see.
you enter the business world and you're trying to establish yourself, there's a lot of variables that are outside of your control, whether it's getting permits or whether it's working with contractors.
Hmm.
I'm usually, given able to give a directive, or it was things out of my control that I had to work around, and I had to rely on others. Where I'm used to just making something happen myself. So that was a little change of pace for me. But a lot of the things that I've, you know, the skills that I've learned working with our children absolutely were a benefit to me, even as I pursued the dessert shop.
Yeah.
And again, one of the motives was initially, like I said, it was for I wanted to eat dessert, but also we wanted to give back something to our community. So we wanted to not only be able to give a good word to our young people, we wanted to be able to establish something that they could see, because our young people, that many of us were buried in mystery God teaching, but our young people don't have time for that. they see and believe it. They want to see it. So it's not enough just to talk it. They want to see something of substance. And so we wanted to establish something in the community where they could see that, hey, there's somebody giving back, there's somebody establishing something, and inspire them to, go after whatever dreams and goals that they have.
Yes, that's awesome. I was actually going to ask you to go deeper into that, because oftentimes what happens is that Allah puts inside of us a cocktail of skills and ways in which we can be a conduit for Him to make Himself known, right? And so sometimes when we're following sort of that Eurocentric way of looking at ourselves, we hone in on, I got this one skill set. I'm a teacher. This is what I do. I'm an accountant. This is what I do. I'm an engineer. This is what I do. But when you think about who we are and whose we are as creative beings, we have so many talents, so many goals, and oftentimes there's a through line. In your case, you're a teacher, you're an educator, you're a trainer, you're a business person, you're an entrepreneur, a restaurateur, a realtor, a real estate owner. We're not even going to talk about all the stuff you do in our mighty nation that adds to your other descriptions. And so I just wanted to just celebrate that with you for a moment, because what I'm seeing in terms of your success being in that you are just allowing yourself to flow through. I heard you say you're a husband. I'm assuming you're a father. So there's all these beautiful things, and you're just allowing Allah to flow through you. And I just think that that's the real key to success in this modern day, new age world that we're moving into. You got to be multifactorial.
Praise be to Allah. 100%. We had a lesson that those of us that came to the Nation of Islam, and it says, who is the original man? The original man is Asiatic black man, the maker, the owner, cream of the planet Earth, God of the universe. And many of us just brush through that, but that's something that when I learned that, that was my foundation. That is my foundation.
Mm-hmm.
And by the grace of Allah, I never struggled with having confidence based on that lesson. So I believe and know that whatever we put our minds to it, we can achieve it. And as gods, we are multifaceted. We're not stuck in one place. We're not limited. So we can do something over here and we can do something over here. And I've learned that through this process. And again, I'm just thankful to Allah for the journey, not just the outcome. I'm thankful for the journey, because through the journey, I gained, many things that are of benefit to me and those that are close to me. One thing I would like to say, if I could add on about the establishment of the stores, is one thing that we determined before we even opened up is that we wanted to be part of a new movement of businesses, a new wave, as we call it, that don't take from the community, but are assets for the community and give back to the community. So we wanted to bring not only quality food as far as the taste, but we wanted to provide healthy options for our community. So we didn't want people to have to sacrifice their health to come in and get something tasty. So we went into business with that type of mindset. And on the dessert side, we provide many healthy options. We use a lot of organic ingredients. We don't use any white sugar. We don't use bleached flour. So we want to do business different.
I'm hearing all these principles as you're talking, Brother Lance. I hear you saying you're of more service value. You give more in service value than what you receive. You're introducing much needed goods and services into your community. You're following the messenger's example of focusing on the needs of the people. and you're not trying to harm your people. Your desire is to be an asset to your people. These are all great principles that those of us in business, I call us conscious entrepreneurs, if you will, have to begin to think about. Because if we study the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and the business model that he set up for us, much of those principles that you just mentioned are right there as an example for us.
Absolutely. And what we learned is that when you stand on those principles and you move out, whether you like it or not, you become a leadership of the community.
Right.
And those that have watched your journey and seen, what you established, they look towards you for leadership, and so it puts you in a very influential position.
Yes.
And we've experienced that in the short time that we've been around. We've had many community events. We've had Senator Cory Booker was at our shop. We had a roundtable discussion with him, and we've been blessed to be put in position to have some influence in the community, and we take it serious. And we're going to keep going, and Allah willing, we're going to continue to work in our community and better our community.
That's a blessing. I was blessed to have the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan say to me that they will study us. And he said to me, he said, they're studying you and they're watching you. And so that's an opportunity for us to step up and show the world what we've been taught and that we can be an example. And that's why I call us one of the best new emerging markets in the world, because the principles of business and respect and reliability, we know how to be of service. We're trustworthy because we stand on those principles. That makes us investment worthy. It means that you can do business with us and you can trust us. Things may not always be perfect, but you know what you're getting. And that to me makes us investment worthy, because oftentimes when you're dealing with people who just aren't rooted in those principles, who don't even know what it means to do business in any way other than what the predatory capitalists have showed them, whether we learn it in school or whatever, or from the streets, they just don't know. They're well-meaning, they're Black sometimes, they're Muslim sometimes, but they just don't know. We have a whole new way of doing things and conducting ourselves that makes us not only industry disruptors, but one of the best emerging markets that anybody out here that wants to make money and survive this recession would do business with and invest in us. And I stand on that.
Man, that's beautiful the way you put that. And I would just add on with that. If I could just briefly, I just want to share the messenger's blueprint. And one, he said, recognize the necessity for unity and group operation activities. For those that are not familiar, I'm referring to the Honorable Elijah Muhammad.
Yes.
Two, pool your resources physically as well as financially. Stop wanting criticism of everything that is Black owned and Black operated. Keep in mind, jealousy destroys from within, and observe the operations of the white man. He is successful. And I say that to say that when we share the concept of what we're doing and how we came together to put two businesses in one, it really resonates with our community. And, we've had, church people come in there and say they're praying for us.
Yes.
And, people come in and just give donations because of the concept of coming together and pooling our resources. And, the way we have 2-on-1, it's a unique situation that we have going on there.
It's awesome. It's interesting because I've had so many church people say to me, we put you on the altar and prayed for you, just from not knowing me, just from seeing me do business. So I totally can relate to that. Now let's get into these desserts, because I know that's what they waiting on. I see you and I can talk business and business principles and all of that. So you mentioned to me one particular dessert that you said, hands down, should be tried. Talk to me about that.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna have to go with 2, but
Okay.
I'm a banana pudding guy. So the banana pudding is our I'm nominating it tonight as our #1 product. It actually is our best selling product, and we sell a lot of banana pudding.
Okay.
So anybody in the area, if you want to have a banana pudding contest, come on down. I'm gonna stand on it. We got the best banana pudding in the state, and
Is it vegan or what's so big
not
about it?
vegan. It's
It's
not
not
vegan.
vegan. Okay.
Well, and let me clarify that. The Supreme Sweets Dessert Shop is not a vegan shop. We have a vegan selection, so that we have a lot of vegan items, but we have a lot of traditional items also.
Okay.
I'm not a vegan. I am a vegetarian, but I eat dairy, so I'm not a vegan. So
Right.
the banana pudding is not vegan, but we do have an enormous vegan selection. So um, I would say that our banana pudding is hands down is one of the favorites there. We also, as far as our vegan selection, we have a vegan peach cobbler
Oh, okay. Now
that'll
you
make you go tickle your grandmother. It's that good. It's um, and the vegan selections. What makes our vegan line so great is that you can't tell the difference, and that's the one thing that people,
That's
you
what I was
know,
gonna ask you. Is it like a aftertaste? What are you sweetening
no,
it with? Like,
no.
how's that work?
You know what? I would have to have the vegan chef on here to
Okay,
tell
no, I'm
you.
not even gonna ask you your trade secrets. So that's okay.
But
I take
no, the vegan items, they don't taste. There's no drop off in the taste. And the same side, I have to give a shout out to our partners over there, Chakra Soups, who have some really good sandwiches and soups that are vegan. But when people come in and taste it, you know, that's what's keeping the customers coming back is the quality of the taste of the food. So we want to give them something that's a healthy alternative, but we don't want to sacrifice the taste to produce that.
okay, so we got banana pudding, we got vegan peach cobbler. What else we got?
We got cheesecakes, every type of cheesecake you could think of. We have
Really?
peach cobbler cheesecake. We have a banana pudding cheesecake, and then we have the typical plain cheesecakes. We have cherry, blueberry. Um, our cookies are a big seller. We have some vegan oatmeal cookies, chocolate chip cookies. We have a carrot cake cookie that is really unique. And
Right?
yes,
Who's the chef? Who's making all this creative stuff?
we got several chefs. Uh, I'll give them a shout out. Nashaya, Love, LaFonda makes some pudding, and we get Mariah. We have a lot of help there. And again, I'm good at tasting it and making sure it's good, but other than that, I don't contribute to the chef.
No, I have so much respect for chefs. I cook. Okay,
Okay.
I've been doing the cooking thing for a minute, and when I first became an MGT, and I started learning how to make like pastries and stuff
Mhm.
like. We always talk about that. Some of the sisters, we say, man, when we came through the class and we learned how to cook certain things, you cannot tell us nothing. So I'm pretty creative in the
Okay.
kitchen. And so, but I'm not a baker.
Okay.
So the people who bake are interesting to me. I can bake some things, but you really won't see me making like turnovers and there's other sisters for that. I can do it and I've done it before. Like we used to make like carrot pies and cheese
Okay.
pies and
Okay.
stuff like that. But I'm really more of a savory person. Like if
Okay.
I can figure out how to make healthy potato chips,
Okay.
I'd be,
Okay.
I could do that too. I learned how to make, I figured out how to make some healthy fries
Okay.
with carrots.
Okay. Does it taste like fries?
Tastes better than fries.
Okay. I'm with you.
Just as addictive,
I'm with you.
but it's carrots.
Okay.
And you wouldn't even know. But
Well,
I'm
we do that with the carrot pie and
Yes.
because a lot of our people aren't familiar with that. And they'll come in and, they want sweet potato pie. And we'll say, well, we have carrot pie. And we'll give them a sample. And they're blown away by the fact that we could make a carrot taste like that. So I'll be remiss if I did not mention we do have bean pie.
Okay.
A really good bean pie. So
you got any ice cream to go with that, all of that, or
we have ice cream. And we also have vegan ice cream, which a lot of people don't have. We have traditional ice cream and vegan ice cream. So that's a big seller too. The fact that a lot of people can't get vegan ice cream at places. We also sell sugar-free desserts. We have gluten-free desserts. So we have something for everybody. We do birthday cakes, specialty cakes. So you name it, we try to do it. We've been able to cater a lot of events. And also as a dessert shop, we also do breakfast. We have a vegan breakfast that we do at the dessert shop. So that's been pretty successful too.
People stopping by before work and stuff like that.
Absolutely. So that goes over well too. And again, I must say, one of the challenges that we ran into when we were seeking our loan was, proving that we had the demographics to support this type of business. And we really had to push for that because, in our community, they weren't sure that we could get enough support, in particular the support of a vegan soup shop or dessert shop. And we had to really push for that. And by the grace of Allah, the community has been very supportive. And again, like I said, as people find out about us, they come in and they come back, and they're telling people about us. And we got people coming in just for flyers. Can they take to their church? Because they're just so happy that we set up in the community of Willingboro, and they're not used to having something set up by community members for our community. And it's been very supportive.
Alternatives. Oftentimes people just don't have the option but if they know that there's a healthy alternative, that's powerful. I was going to ask you, how big is your space? Like your sitting area? Like,
it's not a small space. We're not an eat-in shop, but it's not small. We sacrificed a little of the eat-in space, but for the fact that we have two restaurants, but it's not small. It's a good size, and the kitchen that we share is a nice sized kitchen. And what I apologize to the viewers. I should have had some pictures and some video on here.
Okay, they can go right here to your Facebook page, facebook.com, The Supreme Sweets Dessert Shop, or you can go on Instagram at The Supreme Sweet. So
you'll get a good view on both of those.
That's right. Go and follow Brother Lance and the team. And the reason why I asked you the question about the size of your space, because you have to me, your products, the vegan alternative, the desserts, the soups, I know you're going to tell me you're already doing this, but to me, it brings another byproduct of talks. So I'm seeing like dessert talks and things like that, where you can have people in there broadcast and have conversations about the importance of these alternative type of meals and things like that, which then means now you're marketing through education. And so I see a little this just came to me. I see a little round table or something there in your shop with you all just talking with one of the chefs, discussing the healthy alternatives, because when you're trying to wean our people off of sugar, processed sugar, you can't just say, stop eating sugar. Mm-hmm. So this is weaning us and giving us healthy alternatives. Anything in excess is an issue. But now, instead of, pulling through that fast food restaurant and getting that complete 100% fake sugar dessert, you can say, you know what, I'm gonna come over here, because what I can do, I can go to one side, get me a healthy vegan meal, and I can satisfy my sweet tooth with something good. And so that's a whole conversation, dessert talks, whatever you want. But I like dessert talks because it allows you to talk about your products, talk about how important it is to get our people off of sugar, how you're adding value to the community. You're giving them something healthy. You're not feeding them death, right? So I see dessert talks.
Sajdah, as you're talking, I'm already, that's resonating. So I'm already on that. I appreciate you. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, that's a beautiful byproduct, because I think the more people are educated about what you do, you know, the more people are going to say, hey, I'm having this dinner party. I'm going to stop by Supreme dessert shop and get some vegan peach cobbler.
Right.
You know, these are things our people are ready. We just have to educate them and let them know. So through your social media pages, you can do these weekly dessert talks.
No, I appreciate that. That's something that I definitely would like to follow up on. And again, we're having them informal in the shop. So what you're saying is right on.
You may as well broadcast it and think of it as marketing through education.
Right. So no, that's beautiful. And again, you know, we've had a couple, you know, people come in and you know, when we say, you know, something about health, as you said, I don't want that. I mean, we had people scream, I don't want. And I say, brother, come here, brother. And I would give them a sample, and they changed the tune after that, and they're really appreciative. And so again, we're doing more than it's more than just business. We have an opportunity to really empower our community through knowledge.
You educate them and we've become, I'll say this in the last couple of minutes, you can comment on that. We've become addicted to feeding off of death. So there's death in the food that we eat. We don't think twice about eating hog maws and, you know, all different versions of swine. We don't think twice about eating low margin food, where we go somewhere where it's not even possible to sell you 3 cheeseburgers and a fries and a big large drink. We can't even make that for $5 if it's real food. So it's low margin, it's fake food, but we've just been accustomed. We are now addicted to death. And so what you're doing is you're weaning us off of death and saying, come to life, which is our teachings. Come to life by what you're putting in your body. Come to life by how you are of service, because you may have to go an extra exit to shop at this Black place. Circulate your dollars with our community. What's the death? Taking the money out of our community and giving it away.
And I just want to, you know, add on to that. Our community, as the messenger said, you know, many of us dig our graves with our teeth. But it's not by
desire.
It's not by accident that this has taken place. Our people have been mistaught, and all we have to do is set up a clean glass next to a dirty glass. So what we see is that when we present our product and when we have opportunity to explain and educate, our people want better. They just don't know better. So there's a McDonald's right, you know, next to us. You know, once the word spread, we had the McDonald's workers coming over there and getting stuff from us rather than McDonald's in uniform. You know, so again, you don't have to condemn. You just set up a clean glass next to a dirty glass, and despite what you see on the outside, our people are beautiful inside, and they want better. And if you give them opportunity to do better, they will do better.
And I guarantee you, when you start having those dessert talks and really focus on marketing through education, you'll probably be busier. You'll be looking to figure out how you can expand, because our people just need to know.
Absolutely.
They don't know because they're watching television. They may not have access to some of the teachings that we have access to. And you're doing your job, you and your family and the brothers and their families at, teaching people and helping to wean them off of death. So I thank you all. And I wish you and your family and the brothers and your families nothing but luck. And I just pray that when I get a chance to come to Philly, I see the line all the way out the door and I got to call inside and say, hey, can I get in?
We're going to get you right in. And I want to take the time to thank you for all that you're doing to inspire our nation. And I thank you for the opportunity to come on here and share something about Supreme Sweets. And I look forward to the listening audience. If you're in the area, if you're in the Jersey, Philadelphia area, please stop by. We're located at 621 Beverly Rancocas Road in Willingboro, New Jersey. Go on Instagram at the Supreme Sweets. Go on Facebook, the Supreme Sweet Shop. And if you have any questions or you desire to hear some more about our story, feel free to reach out.
All praises due to Allah. Thank you, Brother Lance. Anything else you can think of? Did we miss anything?
No, we nailed it. So I just want to thank everybody for taking the time to listen. And anybody up for that banana pudding challenge, we down. So just let me know.
All praises due to Allah. Well, assalamu alaikum. Happy Savior's Day. And inshallah, I'll see you Savior's Day week.
Yes, ma'am. Walaikum salam. Happy Savior's Day. And I will, inshallah, hopefully see you at Savior's Day. Thank you, family.
Yes, sir. There it is, y'all. Another new emerging market leader and industry disruptor. Make sure, go and follow them on Facebook at the Supreme Sweets Dessert Shop and on Instagram at the Supreme Sweets. Make sure you go and follow them. If you're in the Philadelphia area, if you're in your hotel, if you're staying downtown, drive out to see our brother. We have to make a concerted effort to support one another. All right. We got to love on one another because nobody's going to save us but us. Okay. I like to say it the way Dr. George Fraser, he always says that ain't nobody saving Black people but Black people. And the other thing he always says is, this is my part where I say, stop worrying about customers that you don't have. And then he says, white people are not thinking about you. They're worried about their family, their jobs, their children, and your pocketbook and your money. So, you know what? Stop giving these people the easy victory. Let's start pooling our resources. Let's mess up the algorithm because the way the economy is set up, they're banking on us not being united, on us not being here for one another, on us not supporting. That is baked into the formula of how they market and make predictions for the economy that we live in. And so we can change that algorithm. The messenger already taught us, pool our resources, do for self, stop criticizing one another, okay, and support one another. Remember, jealousy destroys from within. So if you find yourself being excessively jealous, if you've seen Brother Lance on here and you're jealous, or you see me on here being jealous, you got to get over yourself and seek refuge in Allah. Okay, because we're seeking refuge in Allah against you, but you got to seek refuge in Allah also. And take the time to support your brother or sister that's in business. Buy Black Muslim. Before you get ready to do anything else, think about, how can I support a Black person with this? I come on here and I try to support and buy from the Black Muslim businesses that are on here. And I've not been disappointed, not one time, whether it was, some of the skincare, whether it's JBB Nails, who does my nails. She got my nails all nice and pretty and blinged out and healthy, whether it's growing naturally for my hair, whatever it is. So I'm just telling you all, let's support our own and let's do for self. And I think we'll be happy. There's a feeling that you get inside of you when you just decide that you're going to love on one another. So make sure, join the mailing list, get your commemorative Elijah coin, get them before Savior's Day, because I promise you they're not going to be there. Inshallah, they won't last. I see you all in the chat. Thank you. Thank you, Sister Iwana Porter. She said, that's right. Sister Aletha said, thank you. We got RJ Funches. Thank you, Brother Lance and Sister Wendy. I'll be traveling across the bridge from Delaware. That's what I'm talking about. Sister Lisa R said, peace and blessings all. King Me just said, wow. My mom said banana pudding and she put the heart by it. That's one of her favorites. She loves that. Let's see who else we got. Slate Stone, Brother Juan Carlos X. He says, Assalamu alaikum. Catherine Clark, she got the shades up there. Let's see. Sandra D, what you say? Assalamu alaikum, Sister Sajdah and family mode today. Thankful, happy Savior's Day. Sister Amina Muhammad is watching in South Holland, Illinois. She's got her beautiful picture up there. NOI Arts says ASA brother. So thank you all. Thank you for joining. Thank you for supporting. And go out there, get your commemorative Elijah coin. Okay, who else I got? Y'all see this little sister right here? Let me just stop. I got to stop for a minute. This is Rahima Janah. This is our show coordinator. So when you all are getting your invitations to join and be on the show and a bunch of other stuff that I got going on, my little sister Rahima is the one who does it. I'm so proud of her. She's doing so well in school. She's just a bright and beautiful star. And what I like about her is that she just thinks ahead. I give her one little hint and she's just gone. She don't play around with trying to be funny. Like, can I get it in writing? Can I get the full details? She's just like, boom, boom, boom. I'm moving forward. So love you to death, Sister Rahima. Thank you for being out here. You see my sister Rahima, give her a hug because she's a big reason why this platform is growing and why we've been blessed to be able to introduce so many emerging new market leaders. Sometimes she comes up with guests and she'll say, hey, I got this person to be on. And sometimes she'll take her own initiative in helping to build the show. So love you too, sis. Stay strong. Look at everybody shouting you out, sis. So thank you, Sister Rahima. All right, y'all, get your commemorative Elijah coin, and we'll see you all Saturday for the Sajdah Saturday morning coffee talks, where we talk about life, love, and business. And there's a few others I can't announce right now. All right, so just stay close. All right, stay close to my social media and you'll learn more. But there's some really, really cool and interesting stuff coming up. All right. Peace and blessings, family. Love you all much.